Hello, I'm John Rushton, the emotions expert. It's interesting when you're talking to people and people are telling you about what they think and what they feel like and what should happen and giving you comments about things. It could be anything at all. It could be the state of the roads, the state of the government, the state of the world, the state of food, costs, fuel, whatever it may be. But it's also interesting how people portray that and whether they know what they're talking about or whether they're just sort of glibly quoting what they've heard on the news. Because if you quote stuff you've heard on the news, the chances are it's completely biased today. It's one way, it's either left wing or right wing or something in between, and it's somebody else's opinion. It's not necessarily the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. It's some colored, carded, spin washed, spray dried version that they've come up with to suit the kind of broadcaster that they are and the kind of remit and the kind of bias that they come out with. It's also interesting when people talk about they. Now, if you've made a subject of the sort of the government or a food company or something, then you can use that. But some people use they as this anonymous group of people somewhere controlling everything and anything, whether it's a pothole in the road, whether it's the cost of fuel, whether it's the world at large, wars in the Ukraine, or whatever it may be. It's always they. It's always these anonymous people, this anonymous scenario, this anonymous group of people somewhere doing something, overseeing what is happening, giving some kind of authority, reducing the situation, actually sort of eliminating things from our conversation and the life, and whatever it may be. If you really want to make some kind of decision and some kind of impact in life, then you've got to be more specific. You've got to talk about those people, that there's no mistake about who they are, who she is, who he is, who it is, who they, whether it's the government or a company or an organization or society or something. So you're in no more than two minds as to what they're talking about. You don't have to have any ambiguity. You don't have to have any kind of lack of knowledge. You don't have to have any guesstimation as to, well, what they are talking about, or shall I just keep on saying yes, so you keep on and then we'll shut them up and then I'll go away and I don't have to bring up the subject over again, because that is quite common. There's so much of what people are saying today that a lot of people just agree with everything, whether it's right or wrong, just for the sake of agreeing with them. So it shuts them up because they don't want any more conversation. They don't want to defend their position because they don't care whether they believe it or not. Their position is how they think and feel, and that's the most important thing to them. What other people think and feel is down to them, and they're not particularly interested in hearing somebody else's views, particularly those around you who you know what their views are going to be, because they're always the same. No matter what the situation, it's the same view with the same conversation, the same diatribe. When you're listening to anything on the news, make sure that you understand what they are saying and not what is said, because there is a big difference. The dichotomy between truth, fantasy, and creativity today is larger than it was ever before. There are certain broadcasters who put out certain things because they're predominantly left-wing bias, and they have these biases because that's the way they think the world should be, and they continually get things wrong, but they're so into themselves. All they can do is continue because that is their raison d'etre. That is what they need to do to feel wholesome themselves, even if they're wrong. But you have a choice. You don't have to listen to who they are. You don't have to listen to what they say. You don't have to do what they are doing. You don't have to do or go where they are going. You have your own free mind. You have your own free will. You have your own free understanding. Some people it's better than others. Some people are just naturally thick and stupid. Some people are quite intelligent. But one thing you must also understand, that knowledge, intelligence and common sense are not always natural bedfellows. You can be knowledgeable and stupid. You can be intelligent and stupid. And you see this quite often. in sort of politicians doing silly things who are quite clever in themselves. Celebrities are always doing this. They're good at actually acting. They can act. They very, very well. They're very believable in the parts they play and the lines they learn. But when it comes to talking outside of all that, they do the most stupid, thick, pathetic things because they're just weak, stupid brain peasants. I mean, they come off and they do some things, and of course the press love this because it gives them, it's fodder for them to put on their front pages. Look what so and so did and didn't do, look what they said, and all that kind of thing, which is fine. They're entitled to do that. I mean, nobody particularly cares. It's their life, they live it, and they have to suffer the consequences if they make such mistakes. But as for you, you've got a choice to do something very substantial with your own life and to enjoy it on better terms and a better situation. You're the kind of person that you need to actually improve your lot, and you can do so by doing very little, by understanding who you are as a person, what you like. Don't start arguing with other people. Let things which you cannot control pass. Let it go elsewhere, because there's no good getting upset about it, and only control what you can control. And you can control quite a lot of things around you, the people, the places, what you eat, what you wear, where you go, what you say. Many, many more of these things you can control. So don't ever complain about any of those things if they're not right when you have control of them. Do something for yourself and stop the they and start thinking about me. What do I want to do, where I want to do? It's nothing to do with selfishness. It's what is called taking control of your life. And when you do that, things will improve immeasurably.